Hello and welcome to SquishiVision, where I'm about to react to She-Hulk. Whose show is this? The season finale of She-Hulk. I think this is the hardest one I'm ever gonna do. What do I say about this episode? What was this episode? It was an episode. I think it. I think it's broken my mind. I think this is genuinely the first time in a while I've watched a bit of TV, and my mind has been broken. I don't. I can't. I don't. I don't, and I can't. I don't. I genuinely don't know if I have anything to say. I don't think I have thoughts that I can cohesively put together. I mean, on one hand, I suppose, as someone who is a massive fan of postmodernism and meta commentary and self-referential humor in TV, this is like Basil Brush level of just pure fourth wall breakage on the show. But also, does it go too far? I it I mean, like, it seemed like I, I literally don't have the words. I don't know where to start with this. I mean, well, I tell you where I can start. The opening title sequence, which I absolutely loved, and basically they recreated the TV show The Incredible Hulk aesthetic, and I absolutely love when visual media does art shifts and they change like the kind of thing, so they shot it in 4:3. They shot it as if it was like a TV camera in a TV studio. They got Tatiana to pretend to like transform the same way that David Banner does in the show, getting angry. The cutaway. I have seen some of the show, and the cutaways against like those are like microscopic cells and things, and the blue-green contacts, and then like the close-ups of like shirts ripping and muscles inflating, and then we'd move to a bodybuilder playing in green paint, and the fact that they have those things where they're standing like still on camera and saying like I wouldn't like where I'm angry line, and even like they had the whole title sequence where it's like a split screen, and one side is Jennifer Walters and the other side is She-Hulk. That was great. I was like, this is a fantastic bit of meta continuity here, and like meta referencing. And I thought we'd go into the show properly, and it seemed like it was going fine. We had some like we got some like fantastic commentary on people's attitude towards the show. Like the show is self-aware of like your criticism is boring and pointless and out of spite when a show that was filmed and wrapped before any of this was actually any of the trailers and any of these were put online and any of these comments were made already predicted everything. You heard characters who were like, oh, why do we have a She-Hulk, there's no He-Hulk, or the Lady Thor criticism, everything like that, things which are already like people like literally the comments that people have said on screen, but like the show predicted it because the show was filmed before those comments were made. That was fantastic. Jennifer Walters' whole thing about how she's being punished, but it was like men who put her in a situation, how it's so unfair, and she has to like deal with that, and like just like the complete unfairness of her situation, and the fact that everyone was like turning against her, and concentrating on like female emotion, female anger, and not the instigating thing behind it. That was great. I love that. That was so on point. And then like the bit where she's like, oh, I'm not running away from my problems. I'm taking a mental health break. And I'm like, that's just, yeah, that is such a mood. You do that. That's what I do all the time. Like, I appreciate that. And then we got what seems to be built like a classic TV climax. She goes to the resort that Emil is meant to be at, and meanwhile her colleagues are trying to investigate what's happening and like try to find out who the Hulk King is, and you know, Pug infiltrates the kind of the misogynistic meeting and has to like pretend to be misogynistic to get in there, and that's when you get all the things about people, you know, making words about making, you know, quoting the criticism. And then when things start to get kind of contrived, it is revealed that, you know, this meeting was actually at Emil's resort. Emil is doing a speech. He has broken his parole to do so and is appearing as the Abomination, which is kind of like going back to the whole chicken thing in the like second episode. Then like Jennifer stumbles on it, and you're like, okay, well, and you know, they find out that Todd Phelps is the Hulk King. They're like, okay, this is like a natural resolution to everything. It's a bit messy that Emil is there, but I guess that's, you know, we get to bring him back into the show for like Tim Roth, and like who can complain about more Tim Roth? But then like, you know, what's her name? Her assistant like bursts in. You're like, okay, well, I guess she's here. Well, that makes sense. She was here anyway, and then Tatiana bursts in, you're like, okay, well, this is getting a bit humorous, but okay. And then like the Hulk bursts in, and literally everyone like drops in, and everyone just starts, you know, fighting each other for like no reason. And it's just a bedlam and chaos, and like Jennifer's like, hold on, what's going on here? This is crazy. And then I don't know how to react to what happens next. A fake Disney Plus screen shows up, which she bursts out of as She-Hulk, climbs in through the behind-the-scenes assembled show, which is like crazy because like that's not even part of the MCU. That's like a documentary series they're making on the side of this, but now that's actually part of the MCU. She breaks into this. I guess she comes into the real world. She appears on the Disney plot that they film the studio work for the MCU. Walks into the Marvel offices, demands to see Kevin. She walks into the writers' room for the show, so I assume like to get the actual writers to like act for this. Demands to see Kevin, and was like, you can't see Kevin. She goes and she bursts in, and we're assuming we're going to see Kevin Feige, and no, it's a robot called Kevin. But there's like a HUD on the camera lens that looks like Kevin Feige's distinct baseball cap, and she's just like mentioning all the criticism of the MCU, and it's like I can't tell if this is overdone, lazy, or brilliant and bold. Because she like points it all out, and then she's like, you know, we don't have to do that here. We can just think different. We can get rid of all this fluff. We can just resolve it in this way. And Feige's like, sure, fine, do that. But the thing is, like, she doesn't undo her ending. She just skips how it gets resolved, and we jump to the resolution. But everything presumably still happens because Emil's still held accountable for transforming. Todd's still getting arrested. He just doesn't explain why he gets transformed back. I guess the Hulk disappears from that bit. Oh, and then like Daredevil randomly turns up. And then they go for dinner, And then the Hulk actually turns up, and he's got his son, which, I mean, everyone was kind of speculating was going to happen, and it turns out that that's probably why the spaceship arrived to, like, in the first episode, was to tell the Hulk that he had a son, and he went back to meet his son, and he's brought his son back to Earth, and that's how it happened. And then she goes to court, and I guess the arc of her story is that she can be both the Hulk and lawyer and the superhero. But I don't, my mind is broken. It's like, I like ice cream, but if I have too much ice cream as to solve my problems instead of thinking about them, I'm gonna get brain freeze and I can't think anymore, and I don't feel anything, and I just get ill, which actually happened to me last night. But it's that, like, I love meta comedy, but is this too? I can't. I mean, it's a different ending, but it's just like. Is it? You know that meme where you have like, oh, you can't just blah 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 blah, and the person does it anyway, and it's like, oh, you can't. It's like, oh, you can't just end a show by having a main character break the fourth wall and like explain how it's going to be resolved, and then it's just resolved. But this show's like, yeah, well, how are we going to resolve the show? I remember saying I was like, also like most of my criticism towards the Disney Plus MCU shows was pacing, and they're just being completely different with the final episode. That's kind of what happens here as well. But I'm so bamboozled. I can't tell if it's the same situation of just literally undoing the plot. My brain's just messed up here. Like, I can't tell. Genuinely can't tell what's happened. I can't tell if this is like the resolution of basically being like, we're going to introduce all these new concepts. Like, Kevin's never, like, the idea of like, oh gosh, because like there's no real antagonist to the show, but I guess there is. I don't know what to. How do you react to this? What's happened? I don't know. Is this a good ending? Is this an imaginative ending? It's a fun ending. I had fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't come out of this feeling frustrated. I guess it's entertained me. Has it delivered a core message? I guess, but was the core message really? Thing is, most of the things that she was pointing out were like issues with the MCU, not issues with her arc and women. So in fact, it wasn't really about her in the end anyway. At least that's what it seemed to me. I genuinely don't know. That's just what. Oh, so baffled by how and where and what and you da ba ba boo ba 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 boo. My brain it is far too late, and it's 1:15 in the morning, and I've got a train. Like, well, I thought I had a train in 8 hours, but it's been cancelled. And look at what's happening there. Yeah, I've gone cuckoo. I don't know what this show has broken me. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Sorry guys, I just have to end there. I generally don't know what we're going from here. I mean, nothing they've done here is new by any means, but it's. I mean, it's Basil Brush, but even like, it's outdone even Basil Brush, and that was She-Hulk. I mean, I guess it's still one of the most consistent MCU shows since Loki.